Welcome to the Calm Mom Podcast, the show for ambitious women ready to get off the hot mess express. I know you've got a lot going on. You work so hard, you're raising an incredible family, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. I'm your host, Michelle Grosser. I'm a certified master life coach, attorney, wife, and mom. And years ago, I was right where you are. I was running a busy law practice while raising a family, and I was on the fast track to burnout. I thought I just needed to be more organized or have better routines, but it was learning how to heal and regulate my nervous system that expanded my capacity to gracefully hold more of this big, beautiful life. You too are worthy of an extraordinary life in and beyond motherhood. Learning to be a calm, anchoring presence in your home and at work is going to be your superpower. If you're here to do the inner work that brings a sense of calm amidst the chaos, I'm here to join you on that journey. Each time you press play, your growth continues. So let's get at it. Hey guys, welcome to the Calm Mom Podcast. It's Michelle Grosser here. So grateful to be with you guys today. We're going to talk about talk therapy. And I think it's something that might ruffle some feathers, especially if you've been dealing with trauma or anxiety or burnout. But before you come at me, I just want to say, well, one, if you have been attending talk therapy, if you love your talk therapist, if you've been seeing great results and making progress and you can see your life changing for the better, amazing, awesome. Keep doing more of that. And if you've been going to talk therapy for 6 months or 6 years or 16 years, and you can see some benefit, but for the most part, you kind of feel like you're still experiencing a lot of the anxiety or burnout or depression or irritability or what have you, that kind of brought you to therapy in the first place. And maybe you feel like you're just kind of walking or running around the same mountain over and over, and you don't really feel yourself ascending or making much progress. It may be because you are coming at your healing just from the neck up. And that's what happens with talk therapy, and you're neglecting the rest of your body, everything from the neck down. And that's why you probably aren't seeing a lot of progress. So let me just say that up front. If you're loving talk therapy and you're seeing great results and it's like you're just healing by leaps and bounds, awesome. Keep doing that. More of you, right? Like more of that. Keep going. But I got to say, like, I've heard so many women who come to me in discovery calls and one-on-one coaching, burnout recovery blueprint, and they just share like they've spent so many years in talk therapy and that they're not really sure what's wrong. Sometimes they think there's something wrong with them because a lot of times they leave their sessions either feeling worse or they haven't really hit it off with their therapist. They haven't seen a lot of progress, so they kind of stop going, or they kind of end that relationship and they're looking for a therapist who's going to help them to feel better. Or they're just convinced that like this isn't going to work and they're not really sure why. And that's really what I want to dig into today. I kind of want to answer the question for you of like why, despite doing all of this talk therapy, you might still be feeling stuck or even more dysregulated than ever. Because here's the thing, it's not you. It's the system, right? It's the process or maybe the lack thereof that's actually causing more dysregulation to your nervous system. I think there's just a big piece missing from traditional talk therapy models. Surprise, surprise, it's the body, right? That's what we talk about here. Because that's the piece that has to do with how trauma is stored in our body, not just in our mind. So what I want to do today is I want to jump into 3 reasons why talk therapy might not be working for you. 3 reasons why if you've been doing talk therapy, why you might still be experiencing a high level of anxiety, worry, burnout, disconnection, irritability, edginess, like all of the things, right? Ultimately, all of the symptoms of dysregulation. But before we get into it, I would just love to take a second to invite you to leave the Calm Mom podcast a 5-star rating and even a short review if you haven't done so yet. If you've left the show a rating and a review, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful for you. But if you haven't yet and you enjoy the show and you learn from it and you listen in every week and it just provides you with so much value, man, can I just ask you if today would be the day for you to leave the show a 5-star rating and a short review? I say it every episode, but it's the best way you could thank me for this content. But really, it's how we get the show in front of other women so we can share these resources, equip other moms, other, world changers just like you who need access to these tools that we share here on the podcast. All right. So if you could leave the show a 5-star rating and a short review, thank you so much. I love you guys. Okay. So let's jump in. The first reason why talk therapy might not be working for you and why you might be attending talk therapy on the regular and still feeling stuck in anxiety and burnout is this. Number one, trauma is stored in the body, not just the mind. I'm going to say that again. Trauma is stored in the body, not just the mind. Trauma is stored in the body and the nervous system. We talk about it a lot on this podcast. 80% of the signaling going on in your nervous system, you guys, originates in your body, our afferent nervous system. The signals start in your body and they send messages up to your brain. 80%, right? That means your system is sending signals from your body up to your brain. 80% of the messaging is going in that direction. That leaves the 20% originating in the mind and sending signals of safety or lack thereof to your body. So this matters because talk therapy focuses mostly on what? Our thoughts, our behaviors, our beliefs. Those are all things that originate in the mind, right? That's like logical work. That's top-down processing. It tries to address trauma by talking about it, dissecting it verbally, right? Let's talk this through. Do you think this? Do you understand this? Do you see this? Helpful, but here's the catch. What we understand about the nervous system is that's only 20% of the messaging. So if you're working on your thoughts, behaviors, and beliefs, good on you. Awesome. However, 80% of the messaging that's happening is originating in your body. And if you're not including body-based approaches in your healing, it's like a 4-to-1 tug of war, you guys. You can do all the thoughts, behaviors, beliefs work, understanding, logic, intellectualizing, reading, listening, talking that you want to. If you're not including your body in your healing, you're missing 80% of what's going on in your system, and you're just not going to see the progress you're looking for, right? That's not the part of our system that holds trauma. Let's talk about trauma. Trauma is essentially an uncompleted stress response. So trauma is like a stress loop that doesn't complete. It doesn't close the loop. So we feel this stress, we perceived this stress, and our body sends us into a stress response, right? Survival mode, fight, flight, freeze, fawn. However, because of the magnitude, let's say, of that stressor, of that trauma, our body doesn't know how to get out of survival mode. Our body stays stuck there, right? Something overwhelming, something scary, something stressful has happened. And our body doesn't get the memo that it's safe to relax. It's safe to chill out. It's safe to stand down, right? It's safe to come back down to baseline stress level. And what happens when we just talk about it is that our brain, and this is so important, so catch this, your brain doesn't actually know the difference between retelling a story versus re-experiencing it. Isn't that interesting? Our brain has evolved in so many amazing ways, but it's not really good at differentiating between talking about something versus actually re-experiencing that thing that we're talking about, right? That's why visualizations are so powerful. That's why imagining things going really well for you. Maybe you have to, you have to public speak, right? And you spend time visualizing it. That's why that makes such a big difference. That's why really great free throw shooters are visualizing themselves shooting a free throw and that ball going in to the hoop, right? Watching their form, visualizing themselves doing something over and over and over again, because our brain doesn't really know the difference between us talking about something or visualizing something and actually doing that thing, right? Re-experiencing it. Unless, and this is really important, you have a way to signal safety in real time. So if you have a way to signal felt safety to your body, talking about an experience, your body will be able to tell the difference that you're not actually re-experiencing it, because you can signal safety to your body in real time. However, if you're not able to do that, if your therapist doesn't know how to guide you through that, retelling things that have happened to you in childhood, difficulties, challenges, right? Maybe something with how you were raised, or something you've been dealing with in your marriage or parenting or financial stress or health stress, whatever it is, just talking about that thing and retelling it over and over and over, rehashing it, going through it again, talking about it. The thing is that can actually reinforce your trauma, because there's parts of your brain and your body that are going to think it's happening again every time you start talking about it. And I can't tell you guys the number of times I've heard clients tell me like, man, my therapist just keeps telling me to like describe what I went through when I was 9 or 15 or 25 over again, like in detail. And every time I have to talk about it, I just leave the sessions feeling like exhausted, emotionally depleted, raw. I find that I'm just more anxious after. It's like I'm reliving it. And that's not a coincidence, you guys. If you've had that experience, I just want to validate you because it's real. What's happening is that your body's survival response is just being reactivated, and you're not being given any body-based tools to help bring calm to your body. So if you've tried talk therapy and it's left you feeling more dysregulated, it might be because your trauma is living in a place where your words can't reach. Hint, hint, your body. You're not the problem. The approach just isn't addressing what your body needs to actually feel safe. So that's the first reason that talk therapy might not be working for you. That trauma is actually stored in your body, not just your mind. You can't just talk about it. All right. Number 2, the second reason why you might still be stuck in anxiety and burnout, even if you're in talk therapy, is that talking about your past can really be dysregulating by nature, right? And here's like the second reason. The act of talking about things that have happened to us can be, and hear me when I say this, can be inherently dysregulating unless you've got a clear understanding of how to make your body feel safe as you're talking about events that you've experienced, right? Let's talk about the science behind this for a second, because I think it's like, we can understand that talking about something that's really painful for us can bring up feelings of dysregulation, can make us feel unsafe or really sad or really angry. But let's talk about the science about why that happens. When we think about, or we bring back up, or we're like rehashing and talking about some sort of stressful event, traumatic event, painful event, scary event, what have you, our amygdala, right? That's our brain's alarm system. Our amygdala lights up like a Christmas tree when we talk about these things, when we think about these things, when we rehash these things. And it doesn't matter if we're describing them in like a calm office or on Zoom or over coffee or like actually living that thing again in real time. The pressure from your parents to, get straight A's or be the captain of the team, a time you got in trouble, being shamed for having emotions, like whatever it is, our body, our amygdala can't immediately tell the difference between us being safe and just talking about it or us actually being there and reliving it. So what happens is that our alarm system goes off in our brain. Our sympathetic nervous system is activated. That's our fight or flight response. And what happens, there's a physiological response in our body. And all of a sudden, you're just sitting in your therapist's office talking about that thing that happened when you were in middle school. And suddenly your body is flooded with stress hormones, right? Cortisol being pumped, adrenaline being pumped. Fight or flight. We've got to do something about this. This isn't good. This isn't safe, right? And if you guys don't have the tools to regulate in that moment, grounding tools, breathwork tools, somatic practices, what happens? That memory actually becomes another round of trauma activation. And talk therapy just misses the mark here for the most part, right? Because most forms of talk therapy, think like cognitive behavioral therapy, what do they aim to do? They're trying to change these like maladaptive thoughts, right? You're there to like try to change your behaviors. But here's the cold hard truth, you guys. If your body is stuck in a state of alarm, the part of your brain that allows you to change your thoughts and behaviors is offline. It's done. It's gone, right? You're not in a place where you can process or heal. You are in an activated stress response. You are in like Hulk mode, lizard brain. And what happens is that as you just start to talk about these things, you're just piling on more stress to an already overtaxed system. I mean, it makes sense, right? So what we need is a way to feel safe, not talk about being safe, not think we're safe, not like try to make ourselves feel safe. That's the language of our body. We need to feel safe physically, and we need to feel safe emotionally while we process the things that have happened to us, the things that we've experienced in our life that may have been traumatic. And that might look like learning how to sense into your body. Notice felt sensations, right? Noticing tension, noticing changes in your breathing, right? And having strategies to calm your nervous system in the moment. So if you're just rehashing the details of your trauma without these tools and you're not feeling better, maybe you're even feeling worse, this is why, you guys, right? There's a reason why. So let that be comforting and consoling to you. That it's not you, it's the modality, it's the therapy that you're pursuing. And trying something else or even supplementing with a body-based approach, holy moly, that can have such a positive impact. That can be the game changer for you. So that's number 2. You can't, talking about your past can be dysregulating by nature. Let's jump into the third one. The third reason that talk therapy might not be working for you is that you cannot outthink nervous system dysregulation. And I tried to do this for so long, right? And if you're anything like me, if you love being in your head, if you love learning, if you love understanding, if you love reading and podcasting, consuming information and like coming up with a plan and a strategy, and I'm going to do more of this and less of this. And like, if you're trying to outthink and outplan your dysregulated nervous system, y'all, it can't be done. And I want to explain why, because this was the biggest game changer for me. We can't outlogic our body's survival responses, right? You might understand your trauma. You might have talked about it till you're blue in the face. You might understand your anxiety. You might understand your triggers, your depression. You might understand the origin and the cause of these things in like this deeply intellectual way, right? Maybe you've even identified the root causes of your triggers and you're like, I understand now why, when my kids talk back to me, that just makes me like lose it so quickly because no one listened to me or respected me when I was a kid or whatever it is, right? Maybe you've even identified the root causes of your triggers. But here's the thing. Knowledge alone does not stop you from having panic attacks or shutting down emotionally or being irritable or experiencing anxiety or edginess or disconnect, whatever it is. Knowledge alone does not stop these things from happening because we have different parts of our brain. The understanding part of our brain, our thinking brain, lives in our prefrontal cortex, okay? The understanding part of our brain lives in our prefrontal cortex. The feeling part of our brain, the survival responses, live in our limbic system, right? And our brainstem. That's our emotional and survival brains. Now, this is so important. That feeling part of our brain, that surviving response of our brain, these parts of our brain, let's just talk about the two parts, right? Our thinking brain and then our feeling brain. Those two parts of the brain don't talk in the same language. So even though our rational brain, our logical brain, our thinking brain is like, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm safe, I understand this, calm down, right? That limbic part of our brain, our emotional center, is just going off and screaming like danger, threat, stress, because we haven't physically, right, in our body completed the stress cycle. So all the understanding, all the insight in the world isn't going to change our body's natural reflexes. If our nervous system perceives a threat, it's going to respond. And it's going to respond faster than we can form a thought about it or modify our behavior as it relates to it, right? That's why so many people come out of talk therapy being like, I understand why I am the way I am. I understand the things that I've experienced and how those are impacting my day-to-day life, but it's not really helping, right? That understanding isn't making me feel any better. And maybe this is you, right? Maybe you're like really resonating with this episode today. And if so, I'm here to tell you guys, try a body-based approach. Like, let me just invite you to try a different approach. Somatic work, nervous system regulation tools, breath work, grounding, other practices that can help you experience safety in your body, a felt sense of safety, not just talking to yourself about it, not just thinking about it. This is how you start to rewire your body, you guys. And this is how you start to communicate to your body in the language that it understands. Hey, we're not in danger anymore, right? This threat is not real. This stress is not a danger to us. We can actually manage and handle this, and we can actually kind of step back and relax. All right, so let's talk about what to do next. Again, I just want to reiterate that none of this is to say that talk therapy is worthless. There is value, right? Talk therapy, maybe you're listening to this and you're like, my therapist is incredible. I have found like it's been a lifesaver. I've experienced such change and growth and healing and transformation in talk therapy. Again, amazing. And I support that and continue that, please. However, I'm talking to the people today. If it's you, you're in the camp where talk therapy just hasn't been clicking, right? You leave sessions feeling worse, or you keep thinking like, I get it. I understand what's going on, but I'm still feeling really stuck. I'm talking to you today. And I just want you to know that you're not alone and you're definitely not failing. It's not you, right? It's just the modalities that you're trying. Trauma, anxiety, burnout. More often than not, they require more than just talking about the problem, right? You need a tangible body-based tool to teach you how to feel safe, not just understanding safety on an intellectual level. So here's your next step. 1, check out my nervous system reset guide. There's a link in the show notes. It's a free PDF. It's 20 something pages. It's super in depth. If you haven't taken a chance to looked at that yet, downloaded it, pick it up today. It's a deep dive, you guys, on how to start working with your body to heal. So you can think of it as like an intro to somatic and nervous system based healing. And inside of that nervous system reset guide, I also have a few body based tools in there. So you can start to like play around with this stuff and try it out and get curious about it and see if you're noticing any shift in your nervous system with a few of the approaches that I have in here. Because a different approach might be exactly what you've been missing, you guys. So that's number 1. If you haven't yet, download the nervous system reset guide and check it out. And then second, I am in the new year opening up a few more spots for one-on-one coaching. So if you've been working with a therapist or intending to work with a therapist, or you've worked with a therapist in the past and haven't found a lot of progress, but you're also really committed to healing your anxiety and healing from burnout, and you'd like one-on-one guided support, you know this is the year you want to feel better, and you're like, wow, I'm really interested in working with Michelle one-on-one. I am going to make space for some spots there. So I'll put a link in the show notes for you guys for the one-on-one coaching application. You can check it out if it's something you want to talk about further. Submit the application. There's no commitment there. I'll reach out to you if I take a look and think we're a good fit and that I think I could help you. I'll send you a link for a Zoom call and we'll just jump on a discovery call, talk about what you're experiencing, talk about how I might be able to help you, talk about what a one-on-one coaching package looks like, and then you can decide if that's a good fit for you. So 1, start with the nervous system reset guide. 2, if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, I do have a couple spots available in the new year. So go ahead and you can fill out that one-on-one coaching application. I'll take a look at it. And if I think I can help you, we'll talk. Where do I want to leave you? Just this reminder, you cannot think your way out of a stress response, right? You actually have to feel your way through it while being supported by tools that help you regulate the biology of what's going on in your body, right? The biology of fear, the biology of overwhelm, understanding plus body-based practices. Y'all, that's the magic solution. That's the equation. Understanding plus body-based practices equals regulation and healing, right? That's where the magic happens. So if talk therapy has not been your silver bullet, or it's left you feeling more dysregulated than when you started, it's not you. Please don't blame yourself, right? I think you just need a different toolkit, one that actually addresses what's going on from the neck down, right? One that speaks the language of your nervous system. So 3 points I'm going to leave you with. 1, trauma lives in your body and it cannot be healed by words alone. 2nd, talking can be triggering. So if you don't have strategies to cultivate safety in the moment, talking may be doing more harm than helping. And then number 3, you cannot outthink your stress responses, right? So body-based healing is key. All right. Thanks so much for being with me today, you guys. If you found this valuable, please go ahead, leave a 5-star rating and a short review. If you haven't yet, go ahead and download the Nervous System Reset Guide. It's a free resource. There's tools in there to get you started. And then finally, if you're interested in working with me in a one-on-one capacity, starting this year in strength, having me as your guide to personally walk you through regulating your nervous system and healing this stuff with body-based approaches, go ahead and click on the one-on-one coaching application in the show notes. Fill that out. I'll take a look at it and I'll get back to you guys within a day or so. All right, my friends, thanks for being with me today. I love you guys so much. I'll talk to you soon.
If you love Mommy's Podcast, leave a review.
If you enjoyed this episode, it would be so awesome if you could take a moment to subscribe and rate the podcast. And if you have just a few more seconds to leave a quick review, they really help to get this podcast out to other moms like you. I read every last review, and trust me, when it's late at night or early in the morning before my kids get up and I'm working on bringing you all of this content, your reviews are what keep me going. Leaving a review is truly the best way you can thank me. And of course, DM me on Instagram. I love to hear from you. Thanks for listening to another episode. Head over to the show notes for this episode and all past episodes at michellegrosser.com, where you'll find free resources and more ways to connect with me. If you love the show, share it with a friend. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.